Hi, my name is Miranda Meadows. I did my presentation on Expressionism, and the artist that I chose was Edvard Munch. He was born in 1863 and died in 1944, and the painting that I chose is the day after. There's a picture of him all the way to your top left. I got that from a website that was like kind of a documentary to him, and then here is an expressionistic portrait of him from a website we're going to. Thank you. Okay, so this is my portrait, or it's called The Day After, and it really represents Expressionism because it doesn't really give you like a direct view of what the portrait's about. The title itself really just kind of symbolizes like an overhanging event, like something happened the day before, and you can see like in the subject's like body position how like it kind of shows his feet and like lost consciousness as if like something happened, and you know she just kind of like fell asleep during it. There's a lot of like blurriness, not a lot of defined like brush strokes, and that's because Expressionism was like really subjective and not really objective, and it was really just an interpretation of like the person that was viewing the painting rather than something that the artist specifically wanted you to see. That was like really a main goal of Expressionism because really it was to like portray the inner feelings of the artist and not really to tell somebody what they want to hear. So some political and social trends. Expressionism was, like the movement was in the early 1900s, and so it was pre-World War I and kind of led into World War I. Expressionism was like a German, or it originated in Germany. So during that time, according to Drucker, Germany was largely industrial, so a lot of people had factory jobs, and they worked a lot. A lot of things were like no benefit, a lot of working, but they didn't really have a lot of benefits, and really they didn't have a lot of free time. So one thing about Expressionism is a lot of people didn't understand the art that came out of Expressionism because it didn't really have like a direct thing that you needed to see out of it. It was more of a thing that you interpreted yourself, and a lot of people didn't understand it because it also displayed like feelings that people didn't really want to accept. So it was a lot of anxiety during this time, a lot of high emotion, depression kind of thing. So it kind of displayed emotions that people didn't really want to accept for their own. So a contemporary music piece that I picked is Per Petit by Arnold Schoenberg. If you listen to it, it's really dramatic and intense. Like when I clicked on the link the first time, it scared me. It's really loud, and then it's quiet, and then it gets really loud again, and it's really this like unnerving sound. It sounds like something you would hear like in a horror film, and it just kind of represents like a lot of anxiety that people had during this time. And then I also picked a contemporary theater piece. It's called A Dream Play by August Strindberg, and this piece was about, it was from the perspective of Greek gods, but it really focused on the anguish of like the normal society people during this time. So it was about a Greek goddess that came down. She was really excited to really like see what Earth like was all about. But when she got here, she was surprised because a lot of things were just pity and suffering. And so like the ultimate goal, or the ultimate thing that the play aroused was that the Greek gods like really just had a lot of pity for the human race, and that we kind of just like bring this suffering onto ourselves. The play like takes place in our dream world, as you can see by the title, and it's like really hazy, like distortion of reality. So it doesn't really allow you to have like a blunt view of like what it's supposed to be like. And that's from the Modernism Lab. And so like in conclusion, the Expressionism movement like wasn't really a straightforward movement. It was really just an interpretation of events that were displayed by human emotions.